Yo, what up gamers? Metallic Rock here. I'm back after a small break, and this time I've brought beta with me. I haven't had beta for very long, but I've had time to try out every single tank and all of their hero talents to some level, as well as try out 3 of the tanks post huge tank nerfs in keys. There's a lot of different directions I could go with this video, but I'm going to try to keep it concise and just focus on the hero talents for today, saving the tank changes and how they feel defensive wise and such for another video. I'd rather just stick with talking about the hero talents for today, which one I found the most fun on each tank, and which one I think are the most fun overall. Obviously keep in mind for the entire video, it's beta. There has never been a more wacky beta in history with only 4 weeks left to go until launch. There is still an incredible amount of tuning to be done, so when I talk about hero talents, it'll be from a more how it feels to play design perspective versus a numbers focused one. With that out of the way, let's take a look at some of these tanks. First up, I'm going to talk about Paladin. Prop Pally is one that I only did normal dungeons on, so I really have nothing to say about how it feels power level wise, but I can certainly say I was surprised by Lightsmith. At first reveal, Lightsmith was a clunky nightmare of throwing things on the ground for your team to pick up and use, but in the rework you can now basically just hit the active button to hand out buffs. You technically don't even have to target anyone. If you just hit the button, you and a nearby ally will get the buff. I found that the Holy Armament was my top damage anytime I used it at all, and the Holy Bulwark was a huge amount of absorb. Having it be a basically unobtrusive way to give Paladin even more utility to the group felt really nice to me. The other Paladin hero talent tree, Templar, is all about raining down hammers from the sky. It's pretty fun and gives you quite a bit of burst damage from Eye of Tyr, but I really wish the visual was better. It looks pretty cool, but when you're in a pool full of a lot of things going on at once, it can be really hard to see the effect. Overall, I think I like the way Lightsmith plays more, but Templar was really fun too. I don't really feel like Paladin has any loser hero talents. Next, I'll take a second to talk about Monk. Master of Harmony provides a cool gameplay loop of doing damage and healing to store up vitality, and then when you hit Celestial Brew, spending that vitality to deal additional damage. The coolest thing about this hero talent tree to me was the fact that you get a second charge of Celestial Brew, which I think will feel quite nice to play around with. On the other hand, Shado-pan is about building up stacks of Flurry and unleashing them when you spend enough energy. Both of these hero talents are extremely unimpactful to what you do and how you play. While in the past I think that would have been a good thing, Monk also got a class rework that streamlined a couple of the buttons as well. When I was playing either of the hero talent trees, I couldn't really feel a difference between them, and to make things worse, neither of them have very flashy visuals. I'm sure it's too late, but I feel like Monks could benefit from some extra flashiness on the hero talent side of things. If I had to pick one, I think I'd go with Master of Harmony as the one I enjoyed more. Next up, and finally the last one I haven't gotten to test in keys, is Demon Hunter. Fel-scarred is basically the opposite of Monk in every way. Whenever you Fel-dev, it will empower Spirit Bomb and Soul Cleave. This will highlight them on your bar and change their visuals slightly. Additionally, when you press meta, it will empower Fel-dev, Spirit Bomb, Soul Cleave, Sigil of Flame, and Immolation Aura. So this is a very flashy talent tree. You're constantly empowering abilities on rotation due to how frequent Fel-dev is available. While the other hero talent, Aldrachi Reaver, is less flashy, it's still pretty fun. Basically, you collect souls to empower Throw Glaive. Using Soul Glaive empowers your next Fracture to apply a buff called Reaver's Mark, and empowers your Soul Cleave to do a sort of ramping damage. It's pretty fun, but a little complicated. And Soul Cleave and Fracture don't light up, even though Throw Glaive does, which kind of threw me off, so you might not realize you have the buffs if you're not paying attention. Overall, I think I definitely prefer to play Fel-scarred, but they were both alright. Finally, onto the tanks I've tested in keys. I think Prot Warrior is a pretty big winner from a hero talent perspective. I found myself really drawn to Colossus. You get an active button, Demolish, which feels really good to press, and can provide you with something to hit when you've already hit Thunderous Roar or Ravager, which both have a minute and 30-second cooldown with the right talents. Just doing your normal rotation will stack the damage of Demolish up to 100%, and if you get the full buff before it comes off cooldown, more stacks will actually reduce the cooldown of Demolish, so you really get to hit it a lot. One issue I was having was a bug related to Revenge not giving stacks at AoE like this should, but this is a beta issue. Once this is fixed, Colossus would probably be my pick out of the warrior hero talents, but as it is, I think I had more fun with Mountain Thane. Mountain Thane is really simple. It boosts your Thunderclap, turning it into a Thunder Blast. It can happen from random procs, but you can also control it really often through Demo Shout and Avatar. In the end, Mountain Thane isn't doing anything complex, but it's got a lot of decent visuals, and you can really feel it happening, which I found important as I played through these hero talent trees. On to DK. Now, I don't know how it'll turn out numerically, but I really hope Deathbringer ends up being the better of the two talent trees. Of all the talent trees, I think Deathbringer is the most fun and the one that is the most interesting. It adds Reaper's Mark as an active that stacks before exploding, and then reduces the cost on Marrow Rends. It really changes up the playstyle of DK in that you don't want to die every single time you have to hit Marrow Rend, which is a huge change. On top of that, the scythes from the Reaper's Mark are awesome. The hero talents contribute to so much of your damage right now on beta, it's insane, but it's probably the most fun I've had on DK ever, and I played DK Season 3 and Season 4 of Shadowlands. Contrast that with Sand Lane, which converts Heartstrike to Vampiric Strike from procs or whenever you have Vampiric Blood active. These Vampiric Strikes heal you for a little bit and give you a small stacking haste buff, as well as debuffing the mobs with a damage taken increased. I can see the power in these hero talents, and I can see how they could be pretty fun if you're getting really large ramp windows where you get to do a lot all at once. For me, Sand Lane loses out on the cool factor and the lack of really changing up the gameplay. Losing out on the reduced cost of Marrow Rend seems pretty huge to me, so while I'm down to try it again, Deathbringer is my current pick for DK. And finally, we've arrived at Guardian Druid. I tried out Druid of the Claw first, thinking that the style of swapping in and out of cat form while tanking was going to be a compelling gameplay loop, but to me it felt clunky and annoying. Druid of the Claw gets a cool button through Ravage, a large AoE swipe that can proc pretty often, but other than that, this hero talent tree didn't feel like it worked well to me. I understand the concept, and I'm certainly open to the idea that it was just user error, but it never really felt like I was gaining a benefit for switching into cat form. I do, however, think that Elun's Chosen is an excellent hero talent tree. It brings back Galactic Guardian's gameplay style, which really hasn't been around since the rework in Dragonflight, and adds several things that play well with that side of the spec tree. I'm going to try to not let the fact that this is the build I did the best with on beta keys affect how I feel. There's a whole lot that goes into that. We can get into that at another time. But the playstyle of the Galactic Guardian on top of Elun's Chosen is very fun. Moonfires just raining from the sky, Lunar Beam with a very, very short CD to add on top of Barkscan and Rage of the Sleeper. I think Elun's Chosen was probably the second best talent tree to me after Deathbringer. Anyway, that's just a summary of the hero talents and how I feel about them for the tanks. I'm going to be trying to get in there and test the tanks and dungeons some more, and do at least one more beta video before launch in a month. Today is the day that pre-patch is hitting retail. It's got a super long maintenance window, and when you log in for the first time on retail, it's going to try and merge all your characters. I honestly would not even recommend logging in when that happens, to be honest, but I think this video is going to be up the day after, so I guess I'll say I hope your launch went smooth. I hope all your warband is banded, I guess. Yeah, I think the servers are going to get shredded trying to combine all that data, but I hope I'm wrong. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I've got links to my Twitter and Twitch in the description, and like I said, I plan to continue with the tank content as we move even closer to the war within. So if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more tanks. For watching.